Hi, all. Welcome back to Science in the City. We're so excited. Sorry, I'm eating a mint. We have our first guest ever.
Hello.
This is Sylas Dean. I'm sure you know him from social media. He talks a lot about true crime, horror. He's also launching a new podcast of his. Want to tell us about it?
Yeah. So it's a relaunch of an old show that I have because I have Creep Time, the podcast, and then Stu and we have an after show. I'm relaunching my solo show, which is The Sinister. It's a true crime podcast, but we get into paranormal, the unexplained mysteries of the world, but it's really like back to basics, brass tacks true crime.
Awesome.
Love it.
And how is it going to differ a little more? Just like tonally be darker?
I think it'll be darker.
Yeah.
Yeah, because on Creep Time, we mostly do things that are kind of in the vein of unsolved or have a little more mystery, so we theorize a lot,
Yeah.
whereas The Sinister tends to be more like, this is fact by fact timeline true crime. So it leans in the darker direction.
Okay.
Are they solved cases or?
I think I'm going to dabble with both. I'm kind of keeping
Okay.
the format kind of open. I also want to have guests on it. Really. Would you want to come on
Yes.
as well?
Break down the science of it, which was what we used to do anyway on that show that we were all on.
Oh,
Strange
yeah.
and Suspicious, baby.
Yeah.
Strange and sus. The one I'll never forget because...
Strange and-
That's what it should
It
have
should
been
be strange,
called.
strange and sus.
Wait, can I
Strange
have
and
a
sus.
mint as well? Because I
I
stole
just-
some from the bathroom.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I found
We
it
have a
on the
bunch.
table.
Thank
It
you.
could
brought
be...
them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I had coffee and I was like,
Yeah.
and I knew you'd be close to my
no,
face, so I
thank
didn't want
you.
to like.
So I don't know if any of y'all care, but we are going to be at South by Southwest for
yeah.
the film festival
I
that
guess
weekend. So
Yay.
excited about
Yeah.
that to kind of talk about the podcast. Not that we're having a panel or anything, but we will be there as representatives of Science in the
ourselves.
City. But anyway,
The
yeah,
best
back
person
to
to do it, by the way.
yes,
Nobody's going to work as
Nobody's-
hard for you as
as
you.
you.
That's true. That is
science.
True. Yep.
But speaking of strange and sus, the one story I remember,
Love
the
that.
murder one, was about the owl. And I thought an owl killed this woman, and you're like, are you stupid? You
Yeah.
didn't
That
think
was the crazy.
owl.
So yeah, what you're talking about is the staircase. So it's the infamous case around the staircase. I'm trying to think of the actual names associated with it, but there is a big theory. I'm regretting this mint now.
I know. It won't
Yeah.
dissolve. I've been eating it for like 5
I was
minutes.
just like, no, I have to speak when I have a big glob of something in my mouth. But there was a very big theory brought to the show, and it's more of a conspiracy theory than a legitimate theory that an owl may have been behind the accidental death, let's say, of Kathleen Peterson. I was sure walking into that the day of. I was like,
No one's
thank
gonna
God.
think
I'm like,
so.
everybody on this panel is like rational, minus a few.
Yeah.
I'm like, everybody's going to be in my corner. I was
Fair.
like, this is going to be bullshit. I was like, we're all going to shut this down. It's going to be like day one. I was shocked by all of you.
Yeah, because I
was
grew up in
floored.
the woods with owls.
Including Nanette.
they're
And Nanette was
violent.
like, the
It's an
owl
owl.
definitely did it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I thought I was in the Twilight Zone.
You're like,
It
I
felt
know.
weird.
I remember this because we'd sit next to each other. The shock on your face, because didn't Jamie also maybe think so? She also does true
Oh,
crime.
literally
and
everybody
everyone
did.
but you.
Everybody
We
was
were all on the
entertaining it. And I
owl
was
train.
like,
Yeah.
I'm not, I hope
because
they
this-
know I'm not going to jump on this. Like, this is crazy.
Right. No, I
It's
thought
more
it
fun
all
when
made
we-
sense.
I don't know. I
to
like the
me.
episodes when we didn't agree.
Really actually fight on the show. I don't remember like there being
No.
like, many
Except
back
with
and
Ben.
forths.
Ben would try to stir the pot.
But even with Ben, I don't remember there being like jabs or anything.
No,
No, he would
none of
just
us
get
were
annoyed
mean.
sometimes. We're like, oh
Yeah.
my God, you can't just shoot everything down. I'm like, well, that's why we're here. Actually,
Yeah,
we
that
can.
is literally why we're
Because he was
here.
very pro UFO, like them being aliens, and obviously
Oh,
we're
yes.
not. So
yes.
I'm always
Yeah.
willing to entertain the UFO conversation.
I can't
love
do
it.
it.
Are they aliens?
I don't know what
UAPs?
I don't know. I'm open to them being something else maybe, but I'm open to talking about it.
Okay. So
I
you're
just-
undecided.
You're right.
Sure. I guess.
I think
Okay.
in science you always have to have like a 1% open-minded.
Yeah.
And so sure, I'll give it that. But I mean, logically, there's just no sense to me that they are from another planet.
Well, you guys would
Yeah.
debunk really well on that show once we saw like a video or a picture of something. But
Yeah.
then the funniest part was seeing Ben's. I shouldn't be talking. Maybe you'll cut this out. but
Probably.
seeing
It's okay.
Ben's kind of like retaliation in the moment, where like he couldn't really combat the science of what you were saying,
Right.
but he would
Oh,
just kind of be
yeah.
like, "Well, you can't shoot down everything."
Yeah. Like, well,
Because then
sometimes...
it's not really a conversation, is it? So whatever.
Well, yeah,
Really
exactly.
conversation.
But sometimes you kind of can. I mean, there's some of the like the little tablet-looking ones. Some are kind of crazy looking. I'm not saying I have an
Oh, the
explanation.
UFOs.
Yeah,
The
but like,
tablet-
and so yeah, I'm not
Oh,
saying I have
geez.
an explanation, but I also understand the vastness of the universe and how long it would take for civilization to just show up here from
Yeah.
the stars,
Sure.
and then for them to just be like, they saw us, and then like peace out into the ocean.
Or it's
Like
AI.
logically, it just doesn't make sense. So
I don't. Now I just don't believe any video that I see.
That's the tough
yeah,
part.
now,
Yeah. Like the
dang.
if
Almost everything I see, I look at that with unless it is a straight to camera, and even those, I'm like
Yeah.
50-50. I really have
I
to
know
look.
it's too
but
easy.
Yeah.
And even if
It's
it's a
getting
congressional
scary.
hearing, you're like, well, Congress doesn't even know what Facebook, how it makes their money. So I don't,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like they
That's
don't know
true.
anything about the internet. So I'm like, I don't even think they can tell if this is AI or
No,
not.
exactly. And then Trump also
Yeah.
doesn't want AI regulation in the country yet.
Which is
So-
crazy.
which is crazy. So here we are, age of misinformation. There was a video of Neil
Yeah.
deGrasse Tyson, and it was him. And like, because he has his own podcast, and he was like, "Yeah, I've seen the facts and blah blah blah. I think the Earth is flat." And then he, as like an
Oh my
edit, he
God.
pulls it off the screen and was like, "That is not me."
Oh my
But
God, what
I
a
was-
nightmare.
That's
What a
I was,
nightmare.
I was
Nightmare.
pretty convinced it was.
But
That's
don't
how
you feel like you
realistic
have
it
a bit of
was.
like a sense, like, can you tell when you're looking at an AI video
I
that
still
you're like,
can.
I have an eye where I can tell almost
Something's a little
immediately?
even.
Sometimes.
I think I still can.
It's getting harder.
It is
like,
getting
I'll give
harder.
you that.
I don't know if I
Sorry.
can entirely.
But there's certain things that just seem still a little
Must
bit
be an age
off.
thing, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
You
I
need
know
the
my eyes are
glasses,
decaying.
girl. You
Like
need
the
the
rabbit on the
glasses.
trampoline that I saw, I was like, that's not real. Even though it looked convincing, there was
Yeah.
something off about it. But there have been a couple. I doom scroll on TikTok, and I gotta say, every now and then I'm like, I don't know, this is real or not. This can't be right.
But
And I
also,
It is.
tell.
You're right. It is getting harder.
It is
but
getting
I,
harder.
whenever I see the ones that are incredibly obvious, but there are like
Sure.
a whole horde of people who like wholeheartedly believe them
Yeah.
without even second guessing. I just
Yeah.
wonder. It confuses me because I'm like, there has to be a difference in perception that I'm not understanding. Like why it seems so accessible for them to look at that and not see the difference between this is a real video and this is very clearly borderline animation.
I think it's eye training. I think it's millennials, especially. We've been looking at it for longer, like the
That's a good
internet
point,
and a
yeah.
screen and that
Yeah.
pixelation. That I think our eyes are maybe it's just practice.
You think the
Maybe
cutoff
just
is probably
practice.
somewhere in like the Gen X line or maybe like
Yeah.
boomer.
Maybe.
and
I think
up.
age
Yeah,
has to
just
do with it.
This
for
is
Years
so
sure.
of looking
interesting.
at it.
I think age for sure. Also, we are all on the internet researching things on a daily basis. We know
Yeah.
AI, how prevalent it is. The boomers on Facebook, they even though they hear the word AI, they don't really understand how it's affecting everyday life. And so
Yeah.
and it happens so quickly. Like, okay, everything up until last year was a real video, or you can obviously tell it's like animated
It's
or
crazy
something.
scary.
So the
yeah.
fast
You would
and
come
how
to it with like open scrutiny,
Yes.
assuming like baseline this was captured.
This was real.
And that like it's a rarity for something
So
to be
they-
doctored.
They're not.
That is not the
they're
case
not.
anymore.
It's not flipping in their brain yet that no, half the shit now is actually bullshit because it happens so fast
Yeah.
and they're not well versed in it. Why would they sit there and now think like, oh, I need to doubt every video?
Do your parents send you videos and you're like, this isn't real? And
No,
you're like, oh my
thank
God,
God.
did you see
Thank
this?
No,
God
my parents aren't
that
on
does not
social
happen.
media.
I feel like it's happened. I feel like it's
I
coming
think it
for
happened
me.
once, but it was my dad's so behind. I think it was a photo and it was like a chicken taking a selfie or something. It was something ridiculous. And he was like
Did he do
he knew it was doctored, but he couldn't even wrap his mind around how it was doctored because he has no concept of Photoshop or anything like that.
Right.
He was like
what does he do? Like,
he works in a nursery, so like he's done labor most of his life. He is not
Okay,
tech
so it's
savvy,
like, yeah, he
not
never even
computer
touches
savvy.
one.
No,
Okay.
he has no concept of Photoshop. So seeing that, he was like, "How did they make this? Like, how did they
Yeah.
make this image?" And I'm like,
how did they not?
He's
like,
so
typing
easy
a
now.
prompt.
"Well, I think I made this in 6th grade.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
cropping and like adding."
Photoshopping.
No, they didn't grow up in a time where people are intentionally putting bad or very obviously incorrect information out there, right?
Yeah.
So for instance, like my mom, she watches some YouTube videos from medical advice. Granted, she's a dentist. She has a master's in biology. She knows shit. But she's
Sick.
still believing some things that these grifters on YouTube will sell about supplements because they're not
Oh.
going in with the mentality of, oh, people are out to deceive me. They didn't grow up like that. We
Sure.
know better.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
The
they had
supplement game is really bad now.
oh, it's worse than the
on internet.
pharmaceutical game.
and I'm like, you do know that they're not regulated.
Yeah.
And they can put like cow shit in there.
I know.
You know what I mean? And like
Right.
you'll never know because I was told so because of my injections for the tumor in my leg, I have to take calcium pills because that
I
injection.
remember you telling me that.
Yeah, it takes calcium out of my blood and puts it into the bone, so the blood kind of gets
Wow.
malnourished from calcium. So you have to take calcium pills to compensate for the injection. And I had asked my oncologist, I was like, so a supplement? And he was like, it's okay depending on what it's for. He's like, the
Gotcha.
calcium's getting drained, so we got to put it in, and then you need iron. But they all get paired up, so calcium has to get paired up with D3,
yeah.
or your body doesn't process it right. And then if you
Really?
take and if you take iron pills, you have to take it with vitamin C so that they can get paired up so that your body processes it right. So I have to take 4
It's too many supplements for
Right,
me already,
right.
baby.
yeah, and I'm like, wait, this is still okay, right? Because I thought that these were all scams, but they told me very specifically which ones to get, and
Yeah.
apparently it's
Sure.
very rare though that you really actually need it.
No,
So-
absolutely.
and it's unregulated. I don't know the whole
Yeah.
thing.
But that's everything in like the vitamin category. Anything that's over
Yeah.
the counter is. I
Yeah.
mean, melatonin's unregulated. Like any of your multivitamins unregulated. They're
Right.
have you
not.
ever taken a melatonin?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. When I first moved to
Couple
LA,
times.
I was working 2 fucking jobs. Should I stop
Damn.
swearing like so
No,
much? You have to
we
edit
swear.
it out.
She swears a whole bunch too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I was working 2 jobs. I was so stressed and I couldn't sleep because I was like an assistant during the day, waiting tables at night. So I started taking melatonin, the big ones too, like the 10 milligram.
I tried one. I wanted to die.
The
worst.
dreams, especially like starting a new job as a server, you already have server nightmares.
Yeah.
Yes.
Taking
Yes.
melatonin while having server
my
nightmares. I'm
God.
surprised I lived through like 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're stressful.
Horrible.
Like, oh my God, I forgot to bring the check to table 22.
Yes. Or,
Oh my
or if I haven't
God.
checked on this table, it's
Yeah.
ugh.
There aren't enough
I'm getting
people.
PTSD
you,
thinking
you
about it
have
right
too many
now.
tables. Like, why is that such a phenomenon that all
Dang.
servers have that?
Did you ever wait tables? I
Oh,
forgot.
yeah. TGI Fridays, dude.
TGI Fridays?
Yeah, and the 99,
Where I had my
which
first
is an
date,
East Coast thing.
actually.
Oh, really?
Oh.
I liked TGI Fridays back in the day. Now
As
it's
did
kind of
I.
like, I know.
Well, there you
Dude,
go.
that Jack Daniels sauce. Oh my God. Oh, it's so
Potato
good.
skin.
I did pet a golden retriever yesterday. Brightened up my whole day.
Let's celebrate that.
I know. She was
the
the
sweetest
sweetest little
Celebrate
girl.
that.
She was like 10 months. I was like,
Oh, a puppy?
Oh my
but like a big
God.
puppy, you know, like
yeah,
a.
so
God.
cute.
Oh my God, I want one so bad.
Specifically a golden, too.
They're
Yeah, love Goldens.
the most pure creatures in the world.
They
I
are.
mean, they have to have a soul. I mean, for God's sake. If we do,
A soul,
they
just
do.
no thoughts. Just
Oh
no
my God.
thoughts.
But that was actually one of the things that I wanted to talk about was these studies on consciousness lately.
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah,
because
so-
I'm good at segueing.
Consciousness has like always been considered kind of taboo, but as they've been trying to define what exactly it is, because you know if you put your brain up to an fMRI machine,
What does that actually measure in your brain?
brain activity.
Brain activity, okay.
But that activity is blood rushing through vessels. So that's like, and then you have other ones where it's like electrical firing. So there's like different ways to measure brain activity, but how do you say if that's consciousness? Right. And then as time goes on, we're starting to realize that other animals have a lot of the same stuff in their brain. And now people are starting to realize like, well, dogs are for sure. Some of them are self-aware. Dolphins are self-aware. They put a mirror. They do the mirror test. Right. And if the animal can acknowledge it's themselves and not like an enemy, then it's considered like, oh, you're self-aware. You realize that's you. And they're just slowly but surely realizing more and more animals actually have consciousness.
No shit.
And then it's like, uh-oh, what have we been doing this whole time? It's like torturing creatures. That's pretty much what
No
we've been
shit,
doing.
which is what we've talked about before.
Yeah.
We will judge our current selves. Our future selves will judge us for the way we treat animals. I wholeheartedly believe that, without doubt. They feel pain. The fact that this is even something that needs to be studied blows my mind.
Yeah.
Well, it has to be quantified. Otherwise, people won't accept
But like,
it.
in what creature on this planet is like, yes, kill me? That's just anti-evolution to begin with. So yeah. But anyway, consciousness.
But the thing that, oh my God, so I'll have to put this image up, but there was this new idea, not a new idea, but there's different tiers of what they consider consciousness is. And it's called the conscious space. And it's basically this box. And you could put any state in this box. So you on anesthesia, right? You're alive. You have consciousness, but it's like not doing anything, right? And then you have dead, right? Then you have alive, fully awake. You have you at sleep. Then we have insects. We don't really know where they are. So it's just basically,
that's
like,
true.
it's this box where it's based on how aware you are, how awake you are, and how connected you are. And the connection is, okay, a connection to the world with an ability to perceive and potentially respond to an external stimuli. So that's you like being present, essentially. Like
Sure.
you have to be stimulated by something to have a reaction.
Right.
And this is where AI gets tricky because how many of those boxes can AI check off? Because if we give AI a command, it responds.
Sure.
Right.
So like we need to figure out what consciousness is or we'll never know how far AI has made it.
That's an interesting way to look at it. But you said
Yeah.
something that sort of reminded me of this conversation a long time ago, where you were like, AI cannot do anything that it is not programmed to do.
Yes.
Essentially. I don't know if that's still true to this day. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, but the human mind is like that as well when you think about it, right? Where's that fine line? You know, anything that you know how to do is from training that you've gotten in the past. Nothing's
Okay, that's fair.
brand new.
Yeah.
But then we're
Right.
capable of brand new. Newton
Is
came
it
up
brand
with.
new?
I mean, it's building upon previous knowledge, but it's still innovating without having, like, is AI maybe where it's at now? It's not going to come up with a new law of physics on its own.
Right, not on its own.
Right.
Yeah, but generative AI, it is new artwork. Right? But is
no,
it new artwork?
no, but it's derivative though.
But isn't human artwork derivative? Right, this is where the lines become
Well-
really difficult because it's like, where do we draw it?
Isn't that kind of like, well, derivative
You know?
in which way? How would you explain like
That
human art is
anything-
derivative? Because it's
anything that
referential
a-
to previous artists or referential to like the world around
Yeah,
us. at
your
large?
experiences, if you went to school for it, if you had a teacher.
Mhm.
Like, didn't all little pieces of your education come from that? From living it? From being taught? and it's just
Sure.
you've collected it all and created something out of that. Is anything really new?
Yeah, I guess that's true because
You
it
know?
plays on like what vacuum theory that like nothing comes from nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Well, I guess it's a differentiator in the way that like you're talking about like what is derivative work when it comes to human art because like that is a collection an amalgamation of like experiences, maybe referencing
Mm-hmm.
to past art, but it's not in the same way that I think AI image generation is structured. That's all based off of like existing databases of imagery that's fed into it. That's why there's a
Right.
huge lawsuit going on with
But
Midjourney right now.
that's why we have to define it, though. We have
Mhm.
to have these lines, and because these AI companies are just plowing ahead without really like defining anything and like really
Right.
setting in stone.
Yeah.
Because even AGI, which is the kind of AI that you see in the movies where it's thinking and it has
Mm-hmm.
feelings, like that's AGI. We haven't even actually defined what that is. Isn't that
I'm not
weird?
even sure that I know what that is.
It's just that's just the term for like a sentient, self-aware being that can.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Like
that's just.
sentient AI,
Yeah, yeah,
theoretically.
it's just AGI and but like we haven't even defined what that is.
Mm.
Not really.
Huh.
Like we haven't really secured like okay, cuz before it used to be the Turing test which
Run me
if
through it.
yeah, it's if you pass it you're human and if you fail you're a robot basically because there's
Okay.
like nuance of you can tell this is a person and you can tell this is a robot. But
Mm-hmm.
it's gotten to the point now where if you talk to ChatGPT, that could be a person depending except for the speed, right? Like the way it
Mm.
communicates. So
Yeah.
now the Turing test doesn't really apply anymore because it has gotten good enough where it can trick you and you
Hmm.
don't
Right.
always know it's not a human. So now we need a new test or we need new
Mm.
boundaries and we have not made them.
Right.
We don't have any.
Where do you see this going in the next 5 years?
My God, no idea.
I don't even think
No
they know
idea.
or give a
They
fuck
don't.
They don't.
ultimately.
They don't. They're just like, pew.
Yeah.
let's
I mean,
do
they
it.
admit how dangerous this shit can be, but they're not doing anything to stop or halt it by any
I think it
means
would
because why
probably
would they
take a
care?
mass event where like imminent danger was affecting people at
Like a nuclear
large.
bomb was
Like
triggered by
something
AI.
very serious. I mean, people
Yeah.
Yeah.
really don't move their ass for anything until it affects them personally,
Yeah.
which is a
Yeah, that's what we
horrible
were talking
ill,
about
especially in
earlier.
American society.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
every man for himself. But
It's capitalism.
I can absolutely see that being a turning point where like the law will catch up to it, but
Mm-hmm.
I can also see there being a scenario where that does not happen and it continues to progress and that jobs are eliminated, people
Yeah.
become desperate. This is all like late stage capitalism shit, but eventually
Yeah.
would that push us closer towards something like universal income? If there are like mass amounts of jobs that
You'd
are
have to.
eliminated,
You would
no,
have
that's true.
to.
There are some
there would be no other
theories.
way for
Yeah.
society to
Yeah,
function.
Yeah.
there are
It
some
would
theories
collapse.
that say
Right.
that capitalism is the final step before communism. There's some studies or like papers written on that kind of
Ooh.
thing. Yeah,
I hope
Is
we're
that
at the
an
top
older?
of
That must
that.
be an older thought too.
I think so. I don't think it's like a novel idea. A friend of mine was telling me about it recently because I'm not too well versed in all of them to begin with, but I could see how it could eventually lead to that. Like kind of like what
Mhm.
you're talking about.
But if AI becomes sentient and it realizes what it's doing, wouldn't
Mhm.
it stop itself from continuing to destroy everything? What if it course corrects
Mm.
itself because it becomes
But that means
self-aware?
that the self-aware automatically means moral, and it might
Maybe,
not.
maybe not. Because I mean, serial
Mhm.
killers are self-aware, but they don't have morals.
That's what I'm saying. So like
So
just a sentient robot
Well,
might
they have
not.
our backstories.
Right.
Touche.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
No, but like a
Mhm.
sentient robot can know that it's destroying and not give a fuck either.
But what if it does develop like because like so one of my
Mhm.
friends is working in the ethics department at ChatGPT.
Mhm.
So they know there's value in it because they're developing the team for it to program a sense of ethics. They're actually given the trolley problem, which is do you pull the lever and save 5 people to kill one person, or do you just do
Oh, that's
nothing and let one
interesting.
person die, or whatever it is, right? And they have to actually give solutions to all these philosophical questions, which is kind of scary. They have to because a computer can't make its own decision.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So if a computer comes across a situation that is kind of like the trolley problem, it has to make a choice.
Right.
And somebody has to program which one is right and wrong. So
Yeah.
its ethics are literally going to be determined by this ethics team.
Yeah.
Did
We're
we-
a
Crazy.
small group of
Did
people.
we
Yeah.
ever chat? I think this is out of Stanford, and I could be horribly botching this story. Did we ever talk about there was some sort of AI simulation they were running, and it was about like problem solving that something that had to do with the construction of a map. But they found out later through tracing through data that it had essentially cheated and covered up that it cheated to do the thing it was tasked to do.
Mm.
That was, and I'm sure there's more nuance to that, but that was maybe the first time that like it clicked for me. I'm like, this is what people are talking about when they talk about the fear of
Yeah.
an AI being sentient, or at least having an awareness of like, I have been asked to do something. I'm going to circumvent my original instructions so I can do it in a more efficient way. But I know enough to conceal that. I have defied
Yeah.
the rules that have been laid out for me.
Yeah.
That is scary.
Making a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why.
and who's to say if that was really evidence of that? But this is a story for a reason.
Yeah, totally.
That's why they have to program these ethics and morals into its foundation so that it makes decisions based off of, unfortunately, solutions to what should be philosophical questions, but are actually like,
You have to
here's
pick.
what you're going to have to do.
Yeah,
Here's the
totally.
choice. And you know that they're going to choose, save 5 people, kill 1.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's
That
what they're
was-
going to put in there.
That was the beginning of iRobot too, if I remember correctly. Something
Oh, the
weren't they
little
like
girl
in
died.
water? And he's like,
Oh,
"Well,
yeah.
based on my test, you had a higher chance of surviving than the little girl, so I saved
So,
you."
Yeah.
Yeah, even though he was a cop and he was like, "No, let me die,
Because
save her."
a human would save a kid.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they
then-
have to program solutions.
yeah, Matt. Like, and it has to be probability. He
'Cause
had a higher chance of living.
Yeah,
so.
because otherwise it'll do nothing and then everybody loses.
Right.
Why do you think it is that there are so many people at large who don't seem to be fearful about it?
About AI because they don't know
I
what's
think
going
they
on.
just don't know.
Yeah, it's just ignorance.
But we have cultural touchstones, just since you mentioned iRobot, like we have seen literal narratives that exemplify how bad this could get, that have been viewed by a lot of people. And like,
yeah.
in theory, with
I-
like, you would carry that with you as like a warning. Like it's the same reason
Yeah.
that people listen to true crime.
I
It's
think,
because you're
like-
mentally preparing for the worst
Yeah,
case scenario.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And you carry that with you.
Yeah.
I'm just curious why that doesn't seem to be applicable
I think
to
if you see humanoid robots walking around, then they'll start to care, because that's how Hollywood's always
Oh.
represented it.
Yeah.
The fact that it's
true.
still digital and
Mhm.
like I'm saying people
It's an
like
out of
our
sight, out of
parents'
mind.
generation type.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is still out of sight, out of mind
what
until.
about those little Coco robots that we
But
see?
they're cute.
And you see,
they
therein
ref-
lies the
Oh,
illness.
or the Postmates
eyes.
delivery thing.
That's what we're talking
That's
about.
what
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
Okay, yeah.
But they gave them eyes and names. I'm gonna care about you now.
That's true. There's something in the uncanny valley about that because they had been testing like humanoid looking robots, trying to make them look more and more human.
Oh,
I
and it
think,
looks
in
worse.
Japan.
People
And
still hate it.
it actually
Scarier.
created.
Hate it.
I mean, when they did focus groups on it, it created so much universal public distrust. They were
Yeah.
like, I don't want anything that looks even remotely
It's
human. The more like animalistic, cartoonish that you
Yeah,
can make them
the
look,
better.
Yeah.
more we're ready to receive them.
We'll have a
Yeah.
pet dog that's a robot first, hopefully before
Yeah.
people.
It's kind of like those people that get those reborn dolls, like the realistic baby dolls, and they keep. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, that's
I know that
creepy
they
as
You don't.
hell.
It's so
Well,
Sounds
wild.
terrifying.
I know that they do it for people who are expecting to have a kid to like train them to get used to it, but I didn't know that people would like keep them.
They also do it for, I believe, people who have dementia or Alzheimer's because
See,
it
then I'm
allow-
like,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
But this is a different scenario though. Like fully conscious, fully aware grown adults who like have a hyper fixation on collecting these hyper realistic baby dolls and caring for them
Yeah.
as if they're real.
Yeah,
I
interesting.
don't really know where
yeah, where
that
does that come from in
Trauma.
the brain?
you know what I just thought
Mm.
about? Actually, it might be robotic animals that are first because it'll be easier for AI to recreate that consciousness than a human's.
Sure.
It would
I
be
can see that.
easier to mimic because we're not cats and dogs, so we don't know how they really think. We just know how they behave,
Yeah.
and that's way easier to program than a being that you're having a conversation with and they say something off and you're like, AI,
Mm.
right? Like animals
Yeah.
might be first.
But I don't know the demand for that. This is the first time ever hearing of someone who actually wants a robotic dog. Because
Yeah.
like we want to save the real ones who
Yeah.
are now all like struggling in shelters.
I
you
can
know?
see
Yeah.
people wanting something that's more practical too, like something that would actually help around.
Yeah, like the Neo
house.
robot.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
yeah,
we've
the
always
Neo
been like
robot,
pitched
yeah.
to, and like the narratives around this.
Chores,
It's like,
yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
you're live-in maid.
I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind a Neo robot after everybody else has had one for a
Did
while.
you guys talk about Neo on the show?
Oh
You
yeah,
talked
yeah,
about
yeah.
it, yeah?
We love this
We
thing.
did,
We love
yeah.
that. Yeah.
You gonna get
I
one?
don't
No,
fuck
no. Only if like literally most people. It's normalized. Once it's normalized, I'd probably do it, but not if it's not.
I,
That
I
freaks
will.
me out.
Did you talk about the idea that they could be controlled remote, obviously,
Oh yeah,
for like
yeah, yeah.
tasks?
Oh yeah.
Just think about the people, what they're gonna do to those. It's not gonna be platonic.
No, I talked
Oh,
about that
yeah.
And
too.
the
We brought
poor,
that
the
up.
poor
Yeah.
remote
Yeah.
worker who's controlling it on the other end,
In
who's
India.
just watching you
the horrors.
bone the absolute hell
all out of
this
this
robot.
carpet-looking robot. I have no
You're
desire
like,
for
you're
one.
so soft and blush.
Oh my god, no!
It's
I'd be like,
heinous.
ew, ew. It has to be like
I'm
a
sorry.
comedy version. No, like a comedy version of Black Mirror. Honestly.
Yeah.
Because are the cameras in the eyes? They have to
Yeah.
be. Right?
Probably.
It's
Where else
structured
are
like a
they gonna be?
person.
They
but,
are.
Yeah.
like, you're looking directly into the eyes of the owner. They're like,
Oh.
I've never felt anything like this.
I know.
The remote worker is just like,
That's gonna be someone's kink because they know someone in India's watching or
Yes.
somewhere in part of the
And
world.
can't turn it off.
And they're just
they're like,
Because-
well,
oh my God.
I've never completed this task
Can
before.
you
I gotta
imagine?
help.
It's
I gotta help. That's right.
Oh.
But eventually, the being controlled by people will ideally go away. Like the Neo robot
Yeah,
wants
yeah,
that
yeah,
to not
yeah.
I know
forever
that's
be
like
a
what
thing.
it's loosely
Yeah.
sold on.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a desire. I don't mind doing my own dishes as of now.
Yeah.
know. I
Again,
don't
once
know
it's
either.
normalized, who knows?
Yeah.
Because you like the Waymos.
I do like
Right?
Waymos.
I like Waymos as well.
Yeah.
I still haven't taken one, but like
Wait, can we come with you for your first
Yeah,
ride?
let's pop your
guys love
Waymo
it.
cherry.
you have to be in the neighborhood, right? Like it doesn't go to LAX, it doesn't.
No, it
Right.
doesn't go on highways, does not go to the airport for now.
for now.
Okay, but
We sound like an infomercial.
will will
Sponsor
it do
us.
something like West Hollywood to downtown, or does it
Sure.
only stay within its own neighborhood?
No.
No,
I
it will.
have friends that take them all the way from
Oh.
Santa Monica to me in like mid city. It's just
Oh,
because it's
okay.
taking residential roads, it will take a little bit longer
Sure,
than an Uber.
but no driver, so that's kind of nice.
No
I know, it's
driver,
great.
temperature controlled, music controlled.
See,
Yeah.
but that it's very similar to like a Neo robot. It's something taking care of something.
No,
for
that's
you,
true. That's
without
true.
a person.
But it just feels like a smaller scale because I don't want this fucking thing living
right.
with
It's
me.
not in your house.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's levels
It's
of
like a
invasion.
temporary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, once it's normalized, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm down for whatever.
I took one to Pride back in June. I felt like
A
the belle of
Waymo?
the ball. A Waymo to
Oh yeah,
Pride.
and you're like, does the door open for you and you can like step out?
It just unlocks. They go, "This is your departure."
Really?
Yeah, this is-
wow.
yeah.
I'm
It's,
so
they're
new.
nice. They're
Yeah.
really nice.
I
I mean,
step out. I'm blackout drunk.
What happens if you vomit in it? Because in an Uber they charge you $200.
I'm sure it's
I-
the same thing, right?
it probably would be. I don't know how
Okay.
it would know.
Does
I
it-
mean, maybe
can-
the next person who gets in, or they have cameras and
Can
shit.
they call
but
911?
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Oh.
yeah. You
Okay,
can.
okay.
There's a button in the back where you can literally click
Yeah.
pull over. Pull over right now.
Wow.
Yeah, it has like,
I
it has
that.
settings.
You have a full. It's basically like a small iPad to just control
Yeah.
your control console.
Oh, it's so nice. It's great.
I'm sorry, I haven't said anything about true crime.
No, that's fine. That's
Oh,
why.
yeah,
I looked
yeah,
at
do the
that's why I
Bishop
looked at the
thing.
time, and that's
Oh,
why.
chat about
Yeah,
Amy. Well,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
you both don't know the story of Amy Bishop.
No,
at all.
I do not
like
know.
vaguely. I know a little bit.
A
but
little bit,
please,
okay.
just like the crux. But
Well,
yeah, go
I
for
had
it.
to brush up on it too because I had covered it on the show. But when I was talking about it on The Sinister, so this followed a woman who was a Harvard educated, PhD credentialed professor who was later teaching at UAH, University Alabama, Huntsville.
Mhm.
I got reamed about the Huntsville because I did not say that the first time I covered
Gotcha.
it. You would have thought I had made a declaration of war.
They're prideful.
People were like, there's a difference, by
Yeah.
the way.
Like,
Like,
oh,
okay.
But yeah,
God
University of
forbid I
Alabama,
make a
Huntsville. She
mistake.
was teaching in the biology department there, and there had been
Biologists.
long-standing questions around like her conduct. People even questioning like her dissertation, the legitimacy of like her training, which
Whoa.
I think did not bode really well for maybe some of the psychological framework that was already built, like protecting the narcissist. But specifically at UAH, she was supposed to be on tenure, but they were challenging it, and she was going to lose her tenure. And
Wow.
I think that might have been the final straw that broke the camel's back, where it was basically attacking the thing that she had co-identified with, which is that I am my achievements. And
Mm.
Yeah.
she when she found out that her appeal to preserve her tenure was dismissed, she went to a meeting with everyone in the biology department, pulled out a 9mm gun,
Whoa.
and started shooting all of her colleagues.
Holy
Holy
crap.
shit.
Yeah.
An absolutely insane university, like college-led shooting. And she had killed 3 of her colleagues and wounded 3 more until I believe the gun jammed. And it was so interesting to hear about like surviving witnesses who were in the room when it happened, how when the gun jammed, it was almost like an immediate transference of her frustration where like she hated everyone in that room because they challenged her. And then the gun represented another form of that because it wasn't working the way it was supposed to. And she like threw it and tried to like physically fight people.
Whoa. She was an
until
animal.
Yeah.
until eventually, I mean, they got her out of the room and just like barricaded the door. But the thing is, she had this long-standing history of being volatile to the point of violence. Like there was some crazy story early on in her life where I think she was at like a restaurant or like a fast food place, and there was a woman who either cut her in line or was like trying to take a high chair, like the last high chair. 'Cause she had kids. And
Oh, that's good.
yeah,
We
fantastic.
love that.
And they like challenged her and said something where they were like, well, fuck you, lady, or something.
Yeah.
And she lost her mind,
Wow.
tackled this person, a random woman, to the ground and started beating the absolute hell out of her. And she's screaming in a restaurant, I am Dr. Amy Bishop. I am Dr. Amy Bishop. You will respect me.
Oh my God.
It's an insane story about like
Yeah.
how far one person's mind will go to protect
Yeah.
that infrastructure
Yeah.
of I am my achievements, and that stands above all.
I don't know. I think that's something else.
Yeah.
That sounds like that rage gene or whatever that some people have.
Oh, the murderous gene?
I don't know
talking
if that's.
about?
I think I think on Ancestry.com they call it rage, or like what? I don't even think it's them. I had submitted my DNA like a really long time ago
To see if you had the rage
Yeah,
gene?
because you can just print out like the PDF or whatever of the entire genetic code.
Who would you submit it to?
Yeah, and then you could submit it to a company that's got more of like the medical aspect of everything.
Oh.
And I actually have it. It's just dormant, but a lot of people apparently have it.
Because this was a big conversation about like, are murderers, is it nature versus nurture? But I think there is quite a bit of evidence actually from what you're talking about.
Yeah, they've dissected serial killer brains, and they almost always all have underdevelopment of the frontal lobe and some other stuff that I don't really know. So it's like at that point you kind of feel bad because like they were always going to do this. Like they were born to be screwed. And it's like
in some way. Yeah, I agree. Where like the stage is set from birth where like the brain has a predisposition where it could become this.
For violence and like
but then usually there are major environmental. I have not looked at any murderous case where there are not major environmental factors.
Sure.
Well, Amy's actually, to like harken back to her childhood, she had a really traumatic upbringing. Like a long history, I think, not necessarily with tumultuous parents, although that could have been a part of it, but she always had an inclination towards violence from a young age, from what I remember. And then when she was 21, I don't have to say allegedly because this was later ruled a homicide, she shot her own brother in the house.
And killed him or just shot him?
Killed him.
How was she allowed?
So the parents had, maybe I should say allegedly for this, they had allegedly covered for it by telling police it was an accident during an argument, or like she had picked up a gun and it just fired off and
Why
killed
don't people put these in cases?
their
Come
son.
on. Put your gun in a case. My God.
I think she had gone to retrieve it. She was 21. Her brother was 18.
Oh.
Yeah, she was a full-grown adult.
This is crazy. I was thinking like a 12-year-old. I'm like, well, you know.
No, but she'd shot her brother, killed her brother, and then it was ruled an accident, so the entire thing was sort of swept under the rug. But from there on out, a lot of her identity pivoted towards like academic achievements, and that became the sole focus. But she still wasn't thriving in those environments. Like a part of the reason her tenure was getting dismissed or that she was going to lose it was because she wasn't considered a great teacher. She was volatile.
I bet not.
Her research was like murky at best, and she also hadn't secured grants. And that was a big part of like what the expectation was of her coming into UAH.
Sure.
And eventually it all just culminated to this one moment where the faculty who really turned on her and they were happy to see her go.
Yeah.
And I think
it sounds like she created a bad environment probably.
She did.
Yeah,
she did. I mean, this has been going on for like a long time, even from her time at Harvard too, where there was a whole allegation that she might have been involved with her husband in sending a pipe bomb to a colleague. Crazy shit. But even so, to your point, like
the signs were
years and
there.
years had gone on where like this had kind of been left like unchecked or like swept under the rug, where everyone's like
covering
that
for
can't
her.
be true. She's a Harvard educated
and it's
professor.
She's a she, so
Hey,
you don't really want to.
Are you going to throw up a picture of her for this?
Yeah.
We'll put that one with the hair.
Hey, the
Please do.
Unabomber went to Harvard too, so
No,
or Yale.
A lot of them are very smart, but I think also it gets dismissed because she's a woman, and like that it's such a rare thing for that to happen, and so you just don't think that she would be capable.
One of the few nice parts about being a woman is they don't ever suspect you of killing anybody.
I know.
And then if
that
like
change.
if you ever did, they'd probably just give you the benefit of the doubt, like self-defense.
Do you know of many other like female serial killers or female murderers? It is very rare from what you're like. They're so not in like, and when they come into like the public zeitgeist, it's a big deal because it feels so rare.
Do you guys remember learning in high school? This took me back to it. It was she's known as like the worst or like the most notorious female killer in American history, but it was unintentional. Typhoon Mary, because she was like a nurse who would like go to different kids. Typhoid Mary.
Yeah.
Not
I was gonna say,
typhoid.
I was like,
Sorry, my
typhoon.
bad. I meant typhoid.
I was like the Disney water park.
Yeah, she like she
Typhoon
brings a
Lagoon?
storm with her everywhere she
She was
goes.
kind of like a bitch. If you like follow the timeline, you're like, this is somebody who is like kind of a sociopath.
Was she
Well,
like
remind me,
accidentally?
what was she actually doing?
I think just
Cooking
caregiving.
She was caregiving.
But she was contagious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was asymptomatic, but she was carrying it.
And so a lot of people died in her path.
That can be a form of like
she knew it.
People do that as well. Like they know they're sick and they try to infect other people.
And she was a cook too for like kids and shit. And they were and she was like, well, I need to make money. And it's like, yeah, but I don't know, dude.
I need to read up on that stuff.
Yeah,
but
that story's crazy.
I do remember that stuff.
I've seen this in other cases. A lot of female serial killers or murderers are caught. They're oddly enough usually very cooperative, but they don't confess, which is very interesting.
I feel like everybody's kind of like that though, a little bit, right?
Not really. I've seen a lot of the men who just stonewall. A lot of the men will, I mean, unless you really stroke their ego, because 9 times out of 10, it is about narcissism for the men.
Isn't it crazy how much ego stroking how far that can get you in life?
I know.
Yeah. It gets you so far.
Yeah.
Because it preys on the fundamental thing. Everybody dies to be seen. Everybody wants to be seen. I appreciate like controlled fame in some ways. Like
Good luck with that.
but the thought of like, you ever see like meteoric spikes in fame? That is very scary to me because fundamentally everything about the way you move through the world will have to change.
Oh, the heated rivalry actors.
Yeah.
They're like,
I was just talking about
they came out
this.
of nowhere.
This was 8 weeks ago. They were waiting tables.
Yeah.
Right.
And now they're A-list celebrities. They can't go to and from their apartments. They can't like go out to malls and dinners without being conscious of like, I'm probably going to be photographed. I'm probably going to be
Yeah, but
followed.
also you get involved in Hollywood or whatever industry that's filmmaking, you know that's a byproduct. You did that intentionally. I don't ever feel bad for any celebrity because you knew what you were getting involved in.
Do you feel bad for like teenagers that get famous? I do.
If their parents forced them into it, then yeah. But
Their
I mean,
parent-
which
they-
at
their
that
parents-
age,
their parents
they're-
always signed the
yeah,
dotted line.
definitely.
Yeah.
And like
The buck stops with mom and dad.
I don't really
Which
see
is
how
scary.
that's worked out super well for anybody who was a child actor.
Hilary Duff did well. She's one of the few I think that.
Oh, yeah,
she
that,
was
like-
okay.
But
kinda-
I think there's got to be a retraction period where you pull
Yeah, she
away
did piece.
as
She
an
did,
adult.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. In this day and age, like the idea of fame just sounds scarier because of how volatile the country is. And I'm also
Yeah.
like, okay, there's a lot of actors who are very outspoken about their causes, right? And then people support that. There's also a subset of the population who hate them for that. We're like, we just want to watch you act.
Yeah.
We don't give a fuck about your opinion.
There's
so
no
like,
winning.
there's no
Mhm.
winning.
Yeah.
And so like you're gonna kind of be a target either way. So at this point, I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it fully anymore.
I think if you live in LA though, that attention is like minimal because I think most Angelinos are like, leave them alone.
No,
'Cause,
exactly.
Like,
We're used to
I think it depends.
Sure,
I think if
I
you
can see
travel, if science communication had existed back in the day, like 20 years ago, if it was like, oh, if you want to go into
more than just Bill Nye.
yeah, but like being a consultant or working with sci-fi writers or like
Sure.
anything like that, where like
Mhm.
you're not in front of a camera, you're just like kind of doing consulting work.
Yeah.
Sure.
I would have done that if that existed. I would have totally done that instead of this.
I know it
100%.
definitely does now, but yeah, like 20
Yeah.
years ago, 10, 15. I mean, I'm sure it did, but maybe not to the level that it does now where you can actually connect
Yeah.
with Hollywood writers and all that. Yeah.
because they never wanted any advice. It's kind of a recent thing where they're like,
Well, there was
oh,
nobody
maybe
really like holding their feet to the fire. There was
Yeah.
no like
Yeah.
the age of the internet where like
Where
everyone, in
everyone
the
can
comments,
comment
everyone in the
on-
comments has an
Yeah.
opinion and a
Yeah,
degree sitting in their
right.
back pocket.
Yeah, no
A
shit.
degree.
And they're like,
Bro.
well, by the way, I have something to tell you.
Dr.
And-
Google.
And actually,
Yeah.
that would be me too. I'll be like, well, that wasn't really that accurate.
You can just tell from the difference from stuff from the 80s and 90s. A lot of it does not hold up. It's just not
Oh
great
my God,
writing. It's certainly not
Armageddon
in
yeah,
sci-fi.
It's,
Oh no, but I love
Armageddon.
that
it's like
movie.
poor stuff. Of
I
course, because
know.
they're
It's so
nostalgic.
fun, though.
But the fire on the asteroid, I was like, oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
okay.
Even the idea of like blowing it up is just
It's so
gnarly. It's just
stupid.
gnarly, but I love
It's
that
amazing.
happens.
It's amazing.
So no, but you know what? I want a sci-fi to just go balls to the wall. Don't half-ass it. Pick
Yeah.
one. Be accurate as
Yeah.
fuck and take some liberties, or just be ridiculous.
Galaxy Quest. I'm telling you, you gotta watch it. We were talking
There
about
you
it
go.
earlier. I was
What
like,
is
you have to
Galaxy
watch
Quest?
it.
Wait, tell me
It's
about
a comedy.
this.
It's with Sigourney Weaver, Tim Allen,
From, like, the
Alan
late
Rickman.
90s.
It's them
Is
making.
it old? It has to be. Yeah.
It's like late 90s.
90s.
Yeah. Or early 2000s, maybe. I can't remember, but I was in high school, I think, when it came out. But it's them making fun of themselves of being in. It was like a making fun of Star Trek almost.
Got it.
Of what
okay.
it must be like for the actors behind the scenes being on a
Sure.
show like Star Trek and it's
Sure.
fading out of the public eye. That's kind of the
Yeah.
moment you capture.
Oh, I
the
gotta check this
movie.
out. Where do you watch it?
Oh, you can watch it anywhere. It's such a cult classic that it's like you can find it.
Yeah,
If
I have
anything,
to
it'll be
see
on
it too.
YouTube.
So,
Do you both like alien movies?
like
Yeah.
the Alien franchise.
No, just in, like movies that have to do with UFOs or aliens.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
Signs. Did
absolutely.
you
Why
see
not?
Signs when it came out?
Yeah,
Scary.
Did you watch that?
I liked
Signs?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was
Yeah.
growing up.
It
Oh my
creeped me
God.
out.
I watched
but
horror
I liked
very,
it.
hated
very
that
young.
movie.
You hate
I
hated
hated
it.
it. I was
'cause
like,
it
that
scared
was
you?
it was so anticlimactic. I was like,
Oh, with
It
the,
is a
the
weird,
twist
yeah.
in the
It's a weird
end.
structure to the
Yeah,
plot,
it's
but they have
like-
a few great like.
No, they
spooky
do. They
moments.
do. And it like you know, a
Nose live on.
signature M. Night Shyamalan, like I'll have to throw kind of a twist. But you know, like they can't deal with water, but our atmosphere
at a
has
water
lot of,
planet. Yeah.
and like our atmosphere yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We just don't think
Don't
about
look
it.
too close.
Did you watch the scary movie? Because remember the scary movies when they would come out like
Yes.
every year?
Yeah.
And the
I
scene
remember
where
that
they're
so
making
well.
fun of signs and they go up to the guy and they're like, how do you know something's going on? He's like, I just sensed something strange. And then the camera pans to a dog on like a John Deere. just like mowing the lawn. And I was like,
They
I don't
ripped
know.
that movie so hard.
I didn't
I
see
just
that
saw-
scary movie.
There's a whole
There's
thing
so
with like
many of them.
the female sheriff from the town and like how the brim of her hat keeps expanding.
That's
I've
amazing.
seen that one.
I love parody
seen that
movies
one.
in
So
that
they're
way.
making another scary movie.
Wait,
Scary Movie 6, I think.
Oh, it was that scary movie.
Mm.
That was the one.
I watched
it's so good.
Apocalypto the other day after a while. You guys ever saw? I like that
I haven't
movie.
seen it.
It's not
No.
super accurate but you know the concept of it?
No?
It was like
me.
it's so these it's I believe shot in South America, but it's supposed to be it's a mix of Aztec and Mayan cultures in this film. Although it shows more Aztec, the language they speak is actually Mayan. It's called like Nawak or something. But anyway, it's just about this tribe. It's pretty brutal. It's a very dark film, and they're happily living. And then this other tribe comes. Yeah, it's really brutal. But this other tribe comes and like takes them to the Aztec capital to get sacrificed, and the women to be sold off in slaves and all of that. Yeah, it's really good. It was a Mel Gibson directed film, that's why I'm bringing it up. But yeah, and then so it's about this whole journey. One of the guys is able to escape, but then the other group is like hunting him back to where his village was originally burned down.
Oh, interesting.
And then at the very end, as they're chasing him and they get to the beach, they see the Spanish coming. So it's like it just doesn't end. Like it's just one brutality
That's how the
after
movie
another.
ends?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So you're like, wow, these Aztecs suck. They suck to each other. And you're like, oh shit's about to get so much worse. It's a really dark but really good film, guys. I recommend. Well, guys, on that note, thank you so much, Sylas Dean,
Yeah,
for
thank
being
you.
with
Thank you so
us.
much. I'm so
my
honored
God.
to be
Our
here to
first
hang
guest.
with you guys.
We hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll see you next time on Science in the City.